Howdy all. Thought I'd just brief you. I haven't done a video for about a month, mainly because life has been far too busy. But as you can see by the rego label, she's on the road. So trailer's all done and dusted. Let's start from the back. We've got 4 lights on either side. So we've got good view wherever. It's got reversing lights on it. Everything is done. Come around, she's all painted, she's got everything like that. It went out to Vic Roads and got registered this morning. They had no issues with it. They changed it from a box design to a purpose-built trailer, which I'm quite happy about. So everything is working really well. It's taken a little bit get used to in terms of its turning circle and what have you, mainly because it tracks in a lot further than what the dog did. So it's just going to take a little bit of time, but considering I've only got it on the road now, this is basically the first day it's been registered. It'll go from there. She come up in its paint. She went and got weighed at the start of the week. The gross weight of the trailer come in at 1,320 kilo for what you see. So that comprises of 320 kilo of ball weight on the centre, and the balance being over the rear. So we got 1,000 kilo here. We're effectively allowed to have 2.8 tonne gross over the back of it, which I haven't done yet. So that gives me 1,800 kilo over there, and I'm allowed probably 350 kilo at the front of the box to be legal over the drawbar. So tools are going to be in here. This is not really a toolbox trailer. I've actually designed this to be a workshop trailer. She's a little bit dirty in here, but just gas struts. I went away from linear actuators because they were just going to be too slow. All the wiring and that sort of stuff, I haven't protected the wiring as per se, for the simple reason there's actually going to be a board that goes over the top of that, so all that wiring's behind it. Our main support bar runs through. Toolboxes will be actually situated on both sides, so you'll get access through this. But if we can just step back, we got a pretty awesome sort of a veranda. So again, it's a workshop trailer, it's not a tool trailer. So we're just going to have all our tools here. Being a carpenter and a fabricator, what I'm going to do is one side's going to be carpenter stuff and the other side's going to be metalwork stuff or fabrication stuff. So all over and all, we've got a few little dramas. First thing is, I've got a little bit of rust coming in, and I was actually able to determine that the rust is actually coming in down through here. It's actually running between this plate and the chassis itself. So I've just got a little bit of urethane to put in there, or silicone, just to seal that up. VIN number's been stamped there. I've got a few little things I've got to touch up in terms of the paint, but other than that, everything is going well. It rolls like you wouldn't believe. The trailer is actually, I'm surprised at just how fuel efficient it is. I think that I'll be able to average around about 1 kilometre per litre more out of this configuration than what I could out of the dog. Now the main reason is it's right over the top of the trailer, so there's not much catching. So yeah, Total length of the trailer from drawbar to the back section is 7.4 meters. But because it's over the top of the tray, we're actually allowed to have a little bit over the front of this, so I can get an 8-meter stick of steel on the top of this unit. So very, very happy with the way it's come up. When I've worked out that gross weight, I've got a little bit of stuff in the ute at the moment because I've got my tools in the back seat and that sort of stuff, so it needs to come out. But to put it in perspective, the gross weight of the entire unit came in at 3.6. So this gives me a 2.2 ton capacity with our toolboxes and all that sort of stuff on this trailer, which is not too bad considering that it's only a tandem axle trailer. So love to know your thoughts and what have you. She's got a bit of bling on it now. Obviously there will be a video on the lift. The lift isn't mounted on this as yet. It's sitting at home. I just wanted to get it regoed first. That was my plan from day one. So the lift is going to be an inner and outer mast, but it's winch driven. The winch that's going to run this is actually going to be lighter than the last winch because it's actually lifting at the front of the trailer. So we don't need the 13,000 pound winching capacity to get where we are. So we can get away with a 4,500 pound winch on this trailer. So again, it's really, really light. In terms of whether or not I needed to get it engineered in order to get it registered and what have you, nothing was required under the state of Victoria. So because it's only a light trailer, once you go over 4.5 ton, and this is in Australia, you need to go and have it VAS. So it's a vehicle assessment through an engineer. So they've got to be inspected. Once the one trailer has been inspected, then they can build more trailers exactly the same. So other than that, there's not too much else to say. Clearance lights are down underneath the running board, so they're underneath the toolbox. So there's 5 clearance lamps on it. Everything metered what they wanted. Compliance plate. The lady who did the inspection was a bit critical that the compliance plate was so hard to find, considering that the ute is so close. But what I've done is I've purposely just turned it at effectively 45 degrees just to show you the clearance, and there's about 100mm clearance there. So yep, the back of the trailer is a little bit messy. I do apologise for that, but as they say, the creative people are messy. So nothing had to be done in terms of the actual post. I took the opportunity to make a trapdoor and then put the wiring underneath the trapdoor. So if I haven't got the trailer on, what I can do is close the trapdoor and do everything I needed to do, and then yeah, go from there. So we can still use it as a ute if we need to. So my initial thoughts on this is that when it comes time, for those who've sort of been watching my channel, I like to build different trailers. I think this will probably be the combination that will suit me the most, because it is effectively the Swiss Army knife of trailers, in the sense of that it's a tipper, it's a workshop trailer, it's not a toolbox trailer, plus it's also got the lengths. And the beauty of this is, even though it looks incredibly long, it's actually shorter than the dog trailer, which is just dumbfounding. Our local tip, the Bendigo tip, they've got a limit of 10 meters on their weighbridge. So your front axle to the pivot of your rear axle needs to be less than 10 meters. The dog trailer is around about 10.5. meters, and this one here had 500 mil to spare. So even though it's a bigger trailer and what have you, it is still within that length. A lot of my close mates have been saying I needed to have a light truck rather than a ute and a trailer. And one of the reasons why I've loved this combination is, in effect, this can be driven on a car license, and it's got a load limit of 2.2 tonne. So that's exactly the same as an Isuzu truck. Now, an Isuzu truck might be the same length, or slightly longer than the ute. But one of the greatest benefits of this platform for me is the fact that it'll fit into a standard double car park quite comfortably. Also, because it's got that capacity of 2.2 tonne, it means that you've got the flexibility of being able to put a bit of weight in it and still being legal. The other thing too is that most of my weight's going to be on the back of the ute in terms of soil or a little digger or whatever. And the tools, yes, you can get a bit of weight in toolboxes and that sort of stuff, but generally speaking, I don't have much tools. Most of my tools are big and they're usually pretty light. It gives me both worlds, and anybody that's driven a light truck for a long period of time knows that no matter what happens, they are not comfortable. Whereas a ute, having the ball weight sitting over the back of it, drives like a standard sedan. And so that's the thing I like. Again, it's my Swiss Army knife trailer, and I'd love to know your thoughts. Whether there's anything that you think that I could have changed, and put some ideas up there, and also whether or not the concept will take off. I personally think that like everything, somebody's got to do something outrageous, and a lot of people say, oh yeah, it's not going to work, and until they actually get the platform, and then you start realising, oh hang on a minute, this isn't too bad. So I'm sure that I'll end up damaging things and changing things and what have you, but ultimately this is always going to be an experimental trailer. So the plan of attack probably will be is that I've always enjoyed building trailers as a hobby. So what I'll probably end up doing is I'll make another one similar to this, but then this unit will probably, including the ute and the trailer, I'll probably end up selling as a whole unit. So somebody that's in regional or remote Australia or whatever the case may be, I don't know how you go in the capital cities in the middle of Sydney, Melbourne or Brisbane, but in the outer suburbs or whatever, this sort of platform gives you the flexibility of being able to do everything. So that was the plan. So yeah, I'll give it about 20 or 30,000 K, and we'll see if we can make some more improvements to it, because it's always a work in progress. But yeah, love to know your thoughts. Thank you.